we're going to play a couple of fiddle tunes, and the first tunes that we'll play are ones that I wrote a couple years back. And the first one I wrote the summer before joining the Friars, and kind of the imagery or the inspiration for this tune was being around this fire with friends late at night, and this fire kind of just became this place where we were all just drawn. And I'm sure you've experienced this, like being around a bonfire or like the fire of the Holy Spirit, but there's just something like magnetic about fire that just draws us in. And that's something that like the Lord just really let to be like a theme in my life, just kind of like in the midst of the darkness of my own heart and the darkness of the world, just this like slow, steady flame. And so the first one is called Night Fires, and the second one is called 20 Years. And feel free to like move in, feel free to dance, whatever you want. Lucy and Daniel and Brother Pius and I have never like really played as a thing before, so this is a whole new experience for us. Jesus was our first audience. We were practicing in the chapel.
He clapped. He liked it.
Yeah, I think Jesus liked it, so you guys should be at least accepting of us. And then yeah, we'll see what happens after that. There's no way of knowing. there's any T.S. Eliot fans in the house, he was a big inspiration for this tune. And I like to think a lot about heaven because that's my home. You know, I think it's like so easy for us to kind of like try to like sanctify our lives in a way that's just not real, or like expect the Holy Spirit to kind of like be holy in a way that he isn't. And for me, and I think probably for a lot of us, especially if you're artists and have that kind of creative bent in your life or in your heart, you experience God so concretely in like beauty and creation and nature and friendship, that communion. And so sometimes like if the Lord is like absent from my heart in a way that I can't understand, and there's like darkness and mystery and emptiness, this whole like reality of the poverty of the human condition and my own poverty, and I can sometimes like cry out like where are you, Lord? Like where are you in this? And he just puts before my mind, before my heart, like just the incredible gift of friendship that he's given me, the gift of like trees and the mountains and good wine and just life, you know, and it's that like experience of like reality lived so fully that like has just, yeah, it makes me long for heaven. So hopefully, and I think T.S. Eliot probably knew that acutely as well. I suspect most artists who know God, and even artists who don't, have that longing as well. And so, yeah, hopefully this tune has captured some of that longing that we must be very grateful for, even when it hurts. So it has that. Lucy was a total champ, so we were sitting in the chapel kind of like playing a few of these tunes, and I did music professionally before I became a friar, and like it's just kind of in my blood, and I can get like really intense and focused when I'm like rehearsing. So I was like yelling at Daniel, okay, no, not that chord, no, like do the 7, okay? And then like Lucy, this, and they were just like so great in accepting my my crazy mind. So here we go. So the two big influences here, T.S. Eliot and U2. So here we go.
I don't write anything down. It's all freestyle. So if you know what that is, basically, I just make it up on the spot. So it could go terribly badly. Like the one time someone asked me to write about, or to sing about John Paul II's One Flesh Union to like a Caedmon's Call riff. It just doesn't work. How do you rap to Caedmon's Call? Anyway, but that won't happen here. So I've been asked to incorporate some topics, so we'll see if I can pull it off. Let's make it happen.
Are you gonna name the topics?
So the topics are Lisette and Brother Raphael, who's in the back there, who's from Northern Ireland, and our kids from the Bronx. And then actually, why don't you give me some more topics? Anybody? Anything you want. The Eucharist? Okay, what else? Hope, okay?
Your name?
My name. Okay, we'll start there and see what happens. That's 6 topics, so we'll see what we can do.
And so the Brother Pius feature will kind of happen in the midst of a tune that I wrote, actually during novitiate. So if you're familiar with like consecrated life, you probably know what novitiate is, but if you're not, novitiate is, there's a lot of images I could give it. My favorite one is you're entering into the womb of the community. So it's a year to really be formed into the heart of the community and also in the heart of the Father. And as we all know, that can be beautiful and also painful just because of the purification that happens. And yeah, I think it's common probably for most of us, brothers who have been through novitiate, to have just this, a year of, I like to call it like open heart surgery with the Lord, which you know the end result is good, but like still having your heart ripped out does not feel very good, but is necessary. And kind of in the midst of a lot of just like darkness during novitiate, I was up in upstate New York at our retreat house, and I was actually walking out at like, 1 or 2 in the morning with Brother Raphael and another brother. And I remember just looking up, it was like a cold winter night, in the middle of nowhere, so it's totally black around there. But the stars were just like, and their full majestic glory. And yeah, I just had this image, and I think it's partly inspired by like the 3 kings, but like we're all searching for like meaning and fulfillment and purpose and love, and like we know that Christ is the answer to like the deepest question of our hearts. But for like the 3 wise men, like they would have never found Christ without 2 things. 1, darkness. And why? Because in the darkness they could look up and see the star that led them to Christ. And so I just like an encouragement to all of us, like to not be afraid of the dark. 1, because the dark is totally real, and I think, I don't know, I feel like sometimes we cannot talk about that enough, like the darkness of existence in our hearts. And we just don't need to be afraid of it, because it can be the place where if we look to the morning star, we're led right to Christ, because he's there, like waiting there. And so anyway, this tune is called The Stargazers, and perhaps it's for Brother Raphael and former Brother Francis, and also for like, everyone who's seeking Christ even when they don't know it, and especially those who are seeking in a heck of a lot of darkness. Look up to the heavens, and all will be well. Practically for those of us who live in New York, it means going outside the city and going up into the woods. So I highly recommend it. Don't try it here.
Ready?
Yeah.
this, it's darkness all around. You gotta listen to hear the sound of the Spirit burning bright, even in the midst of the darkest night. Yo, the stars shine really, really brightly. Even in the South Bronx you can see people like Lisette and Brother Raphael. They're bringing the light because it's like hell in this place. It's so dark it makes you run away, but the Holy Spirit's coming. He's lighting the flame and we can't stop and we won't stop hoping. Eucharist is the place where we're drunk in. We're gonna drink His blood and live the life, cause we're living in the darkest night. Say